What's up everyone, Mobius7 here with another motorcycle video, and it's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, it's been almost a year since my last proper upload, but today I actually have something for everyone. We're going to be replacing a top case. Now this right here is my Givi V40 NT Tech top case. It has 40 liters of capacity and can hold a modular helmet and with room to spare. I also use this thing for groceries, so yeah. It's been a good case. I've had it for a little over a year now, but there's something I was way more excited to get in terms of top cases. And this one doesn't necessarily match with what I already have going on with Mistletoe. As you can see, I have these 36-liter Givi Trekker Alaska side cases, and these are really nice. I love the way they look. Plus, decals do not stick on this, but they do on aluminum. So I've been waiting ever since they announced a matching top case for the Alaskas, and it's been over a year, well, a little bit over, almost a year waiting for them. And I finally managed to track one down. I had to go to an Italian retailer. In fact, the same place I got my Metro T's back 2 years ago. And they had the best price, and the shipping wasn't too bad. But yeah, and I've never seen anyone do a video on the Alaska top cases. So today, we're gonna be taking the lock out of this one and putting it in the new Alaska top case, just so I have one key to open all three. I've experimented with taking the locks off of one of my Alaska side cases, so it's actually a fairly straightforward process. So this video is going to be like two things: an overview of the Alaska top case and how to change the locks on a Alaska top case, because it was very hard finding any information on the Alaska top case. There weren't many videos. No one really showed what it looked like inside or behind or anything like that. So without further ado, let's get going. So this right here is the Givi Trekker Alaska 56-liter top case. It's almost as big as their Trekker Outback series top of the line case, but this falls right in the range of pretty good size. I mean, it's both bigger and smaller than I ever expected it to be. The only shots you'll find on a retailer website, or even, you know, Givi's own website, they're only going to be shots of like the front. Well, I guess in this case the back. But yeah, as you can see, it matches aesthetically with the side cases since they're both Alaska. It's honestly not too much bigger than the V40. In fact, I'm getting 16 extra liters on this with not much of an increase in actual space. Not too big of a difference between the two cases, all right? And this is the back side, the side facing the rider. It has two built-in handles, which are nice because this thing is actually kind of heavy. And right here is where you would put the back pad or back rest if they had that available, which they don't. So continuing around the side. All right, and there you have it. So here's a little bit of a closer look at the top case. I'll just rotate it again. But yeah, it's rectangular, kind of deep, kind of wide, but overall pretty nice. It uses the same mono key mounting system. Of course, that way we can use the same key. And honestly, I think it's pretty nice looking. So as usual, Givi provides a key with all their cases. So I have that right here. I haven't changed it out yet. I have ridden with this case, and honestly, it doesn't feel very different from, even though it is heavier, it doesn't feel much different to having the V40 on. I do feel like Mistletoe responds a little bit more sluggishly, but it's nothing that I can't handle. So let's open this up and take a look inside. There we go. So as you can see, very spacious. Very, very, very spacious. So there are, right on the lid, there's your obligatory warning saying 10 kilograms max weight and 120 kilometers per hour max speed, but no one's gonna follow those. And then built into the lid as well, just like the Alaskas, you have four hooks here, 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 and here, and that can be used to attach a net so you have extra cargo space up top. In the bottom, it had some documentation, and this little tag was attached to the outside, but I took that off because I was riding with it. And this is what it looks like down there. Now, Givi states this can hold 2 modular helmets, and I believe it. So honestly, this is what I wanted to see that nobody had pictures of. Like I looked and waited for updates for months, and I could never get anything. All right, and to change the lock, what we're gonna do is we are going to remove this little plate here to get to the lock itself. So we'll start that process after I take the lock out of the V40. All right, so here is the trusty V40 that we're going to pull the lock out of. Now, if I remember correctly, putting this on when I first got it, or replacing the lock, was kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm hoping it's not so bad this time. To get to the lock on this V40 case, you have to remove 4 screws. Here, 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 and here. Now that those screws are out of the way, the lock really just kind of falls off like that. Oh, okay. It was getting this part back onto it that was a pain. But yeah, so we're done with this for now, and here you have the V40's lock. All right, so it's a fairly straightforward process of taking out the lock. Once you do, all you got to do is get this nut, and it's a 10 millimeter. The lock just slides out. Okay, we have our Alaska top case back on deck, and we're going to take out its lock that it came with. So in order to do that, you're going to have to take this little cover off that's attached by 4 screws, 2 up here, looks like 2 at the sides, and these two screws down here are they're actually smaller than the ones up top, so I needed a smaller screwdriver so I could get to them. Just kind of slide right off. There might be some clips in the way, but that's fine. Just kind of muscle your way around those, and off that comes. Once you have that plastic trim off the cover, the next thing you have to do is unscrew these 4 screws here, and those are the ones that hold the whole lock assembly in place. All right, so here's a view of the lock. So it just comes off like that. Just lift, and that happens. The key cover just kind of slots into something. I'll show you that in a sec. This silver thing right here, that is the latch, and it looks like they have some grease on it. And this is what slides up and down to lock your case, both the mounting to the plate and the lock itself. So here we have the lock mechanism by itself. Probably going to have to apply some new grease, but that's okay. I have some on hand. The lock is held in place by this nut right here. Unscrew that. It also has one of these crimped washers, and then boom, out slides the cylinder. So now we take our new cylinder and easy enough, just kinda, and then it's just a process of reversing everything you did. So put the washer back in, put the nut back on, and tighten. There. Now to test, I have my key, little Union Jack tag. Same key I use to open my side cases. And easy as that. Very straightforward. So the next thing to do is I'm gonna put some grease. I'm not gonna go too overboard with it, just a little smear like they had originally. Let's see. Now you can reverse this on accident. And the way I figured that out was I felt too much resistance when turning the key. So we'll test that right now. Seems to be good. So this is the way you orient it. It looks like this little tongue thing goes downward if you're looking at it like this. All right, and then the key cover, it just slots in here. This one you might have to be careful with because it might come off. It's not really secured by anything. All right, so let's bring in the top case. Do everything in reverse. Should ensure a tight fit. That's not going anywhere. And then lastly, just replace this little cover. And that's it. Very straightforward, easy to do, surprisingly. Well, I don't know, maybe not surprisingly, but it is what it is. I found it to be pretty easy, even without having any instructions. I don't know why Givi doesn't give instructions out for how to change the locks, but I figured it out, and hopefully this video helps you do that. So that's it for lock changing. Now you're probably wondering, what does it look like on the bike? Well, let's find out.